Hey guys, pieordie1 here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a .m64 file for Mario 64, a custom music file. So the first thing I'm going to do is, ignore that, new. You're going to need a few things. You'll need Anvil Studio, again, Studio, Use Score, be 1.2, 1.3, or 2.0 plus. You'll need level importer 1.9.3s or 64 editor 2.0.x, whatever version that is. You'll need those, and my SM64 Percussion notes. And I believe that's all you'll need. Yep, that's all you'll need. So, go ahead and save that. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and grab your MIDI file. I actually go to VGmusic.com. This is what I usually go to, but you can go to other places to find MIDI files like YouTube, or you can make your own. Just depends. I go here, say I want to look for a Paper Mario 64 song. I'll just go to the Nintendo 64 section, scroll all the way down, and then still not there. Go faster. There you go. So you can get Paper Mario 64 songs. Go right here. All these are MIDI files you can use. They all work. For this tutorial, I'll be using what is this song called? Toad's Turnpike from Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8. Well, Mario Kart 64. Anyway, so get that. Go ahead and find your MIDI file, which I have right here. I lost it. Mario Kart 64 Toad's Turnpike. Go ahead and open that up with Anvil Studio. That's the first thing you're gonna do. Just use that. Okay. Whatever, Anvil Studio. I don't care. Alright, so here we have our MIDI file. You can see here we have each track in the song, all the notes and stuff, echoes. You can see some of the notes down here if you do View Piano Roll Editor, which we'll be messing with later. Composer mode, that'll show you the notes in the sheet music format. Those are the only two you'll need, Composer and Piano Roll Editor. Mixer, of course, just shows everything on there without having anything at the bottom. Yeah, for this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 tracks for this song. Now SM64 can only handle 15 at a time because that's a general MIDI limit itself, so you'll have to find a way to cut this down to 15 tracks or else you'll be missing some stuff. So as you see right here, we have 3 different bass lines, some echoes, other basses, stuff like that. What you want to do is you want to pick out which instruments you need to use in the song and take out the ones you don't need or merge them together. It's like stuff that it's already it sounded. So like for instance, I'm going to go ahead and merge these 2 bass lines right here because they're pretty much the same thing. So you go track, merge with the track you want. In this case it's fingered bass. I'll say something like this if there's overlapping notes, which is fine because it's okay. And then once you do that, you can go and delete the track you just merged together. Now you want to, naming things is important in this, so you want to name every one of your tracks. So say bass, you're going to name every one of your tracks. That's important because in the SM64 editor, you're not going to be able to know which track is which unless you name them. Or you can just look back at this window, but that's harder. Okay, so right there, let's see, how is this bass look? Is it different from this one? This one seems quieter than that one, so we'll go ahead and do bass 2. Let's make that one quieter in the thing. Echo FX. So this is basically the strings here at the beginning. Does this sound anywhere else in the room? Let's see. Yeah, the sound's right there. So you can go ahead and rename that. We'll name it the string. So that's the instrument I'll be using whenever I port it over to SM64. So we'll name it the strings. This also takes knowledge of the SM64 music instrument list, which you can find in the area importer, or there's like a list somewhere. I'll have to find that, but you can like look at every instrument there. Let's see, so strings to actually I'm gonna merge these together since they're basically the same track, just the higher and lower notes. So you're just gonna merge them together. Sometimes merging the tracks though isn't always the best thing to do, because you'll get some notes are really high and some notes are really low, and if you merge those, you can't edit the volumes of them. So let's see, bass lead, the echo. We'll go ahead and leave the echo in there. We'll rename this to electric piano, which is in the instrument list 37. Electric piano echo. We'll leave the echo in this time. Usually I just take it out, but we'll leave it in. Let's see how it sounds. Let's see right here, strings and piano. Go ahead and rename those too. Let's see. Piano. Let's see, that has more strings in here that need to be a thing. We'll merge this with the other strings down here. Pretty sure we won't need those. Pretty sure not that important. Root track. And that's the same as the echo up there, so we're gonna go and take that one out entirely. And this is just the bonus track to say the name of the song. So there you go, we have most of our tracks set besides the percussion. Now we're gonna start with the percussion. So right here, well not there, but right here I have a list of all the percussion notes in SM64. We'll be using the general percussion track, the clash cymbal, and the crash cymbal in this one. You don't have to worry about triangle, that's only specific instrument sets, like instrument set 24. That's right there. What you want to go to is, go to your percussion track, view the piano roll editor. Now here we have all of our percussion notes in the entire song. That's pretty interesting. This one's actually pretty easy percussion track to use, looks like. So if you look at it, you have your bass drum right here at C. This is also noted down my percussion notes right here. Bass drum down, the sounds from C octave 1 to C octave 3. And this is C octave 3 right here. Snare drum sounds from C sharp octave 3 to E octave 3. Switches right here. We're actually going to switch it, no. We're actually going to switch this one to note 41. That's where these note numbers come in. As you can see them right here, it's like 42 to 54, 55, 62, all that. You can set that right here. Change the note 41 electric snare. Electric snare just sounds better in SM64. But you can use any of those. Yep, so we have our crash cymbal, our regular hi-hats, and our snare and our bass drum. That seems to be all the percussion in the song. What you can do now is you have to separate percussion tracks or else some of them won't sound right. Because the crash cymbal, for instance, or the hi-hats sound differently than the snare and bass drum, obviously. They're in different instruments. So you go ahead and, first we'll separate this one. Go ahead and press change, move all instances to a new track. This is only in Xml Studio 2015, which I'll upload by the way, but this option is only in Xml Studio 2015. You have to do some extra in the newer Xml Studio, so I haven't updated it yet, but go ahead and open that. Do that, switch it over, you have a C sharp right here. Now if you see this right here, that means that this note is a 16th note. While it sounds like it echoes or it resonates in the MIDI file, it's not going to resonate in SM64. It'll just stop at that 16th note, because SM64 doesn't have very good echo unless you actually hex code it in. So what you want to do is just extend that about a full measure, and there you go. It'll sound fine. It'll sound very resonant whenever you import it into the run. Let's do that. We'll do that with all the crash cymbals. Actually, this is the beginning of the loop, so we don't have to do that one. But I'm going to rename this track to crash cymbal. And SM64 is very confusing as instrument naming, so you don't actually use a crash cymbal track for that one. But I'll show you that in a minute. So you go to that, go ahead and go to this. We're going to separate the bass drum and the snare drum. So we're going to move all to the new track. Same thing with the snare. There we go. Now, since this isn't a cymbal or a crash cymbal, you can go ahead and merge the two bass drum track, or the bass drum and snare drum track together. This tip actually works if you have a ton of percussion. You don't want to separate all of it. You really only have to separate the cymbals from everything else. Just go ahead and merge that together. There you go. That is the other drum track. I just like to call it drums because this encompasses all drums or tambourines. So let's do drums. We'll keep it as 10 for now, but we'll change the channel number. But yeah, so we got crash cymbal and drums, and the leftover is the regular hi-hat cymbal. So we'll same as cymbal. There we go. One last thing before we can go ahead and actually two more things before we can go ahead and import it in the SM64. The first thing is you want to find the loop point and delete the end of the loop. That way the file size will stay smaller and it will work better in SM64. Because in SM64 the limit, I believe, without it to be able to import over original songs is 16 kilobytes, and that's before it starts messing up. The general limit is 31 kilobytes for the custom music section, and that's before it starts messing up the 100 coin star. You know, like the music will start closing, or not closing, the music start crashing the game if it's over 31 kilobytes. And if it goes over that, then sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, but it'll be a higher chance of either crashing whenever you combine a cap, after a cap song, after the Cooper race, after you get the 100 coin star, just stuff like that. So it has a higher chance of crashing the game whenever you do it like that. But so the general rule is just try to get it under 16 kilobytes, but you can go up to 31 with the custom music section in the ROM. Alright, so now we got that, we'll go and delete the loop, which starts off right here. Go ahead and just highlight all that in Composer View all the way to the end of the song. Right there, go ahead, edit, delete section from all tracks. It'll say this, just press OK, and there you go. There you go, right there. That's where it'll end, so go ahead and save that. Now, you want to note down your tempo as well. You see this right here, it's at the top. Quarter note equals 136, that's your tempo of the entire song. Sometimes tempo will change within the song, which you can actually set tempo changes in SM64 by hex editing, but I'll do that at a later date because it's it's pretty not difficult, it's tedious, very tedious. But alright, so good. We have our entire song ready. Let's go. All the stuff done. Oh, one more thing before this, actually. If you want to get your percussion notes sounding right, you're going to have to switch the drum tracks to an actual instrument channel. So, see, there's 2, 5, 12, 15 for you. Can't use 16 at SM64, but you can use anything 15 or lower. So let's change that to 2. Oh wait, whoops. No, I said 2, not 3. 2, 5, 12. Yeah, if you do this, then the instruments will convert properly whenever you save it in MuseScore, which will be open now. So go and save the MIDI file. Open up the MIDI file in MuseScore this time. Where is the song? There it is. Go ahead and open up in MuseScore. We'll just go ahead and do this. I'm going to use MuseScore 1.3 for this, but you can use 2.0 for this as well. 1.3. Go ahead and open that up. Just press OK. Now it'll normally open up like that. Yeah, so there you go. Make sure you have all your instruments here, because MuseScore likes to remove some of your instruments whenever you import it as MIDI. But it looks like right here we have everything. It's not going to sound right in MuseScore since you switched the percussion to an instrument track, but you'll see it in a sec. So go ahead, if everything looks right, go ahead and save as an XML file. MuseScore. This is what you're going to import into the level importer. So go ahead and, oh, not an MXL, XML right there. Go ahead and save that. You can exit out of MuseScore now, you won't need it. That's really all I need MuseScore for, just converting it to XML. Let's see. Once you get that, go and open up Level Importer. I'll use Editor 2.1.4 for this one. You can use any of them. Or you can use 1.1.3 or 2.0 plus. Look on this where you do the thing. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking. This is the XML Converter, which converts XML files to M64 files, which will be able to import into the ROM. So right here we have your settings, creation, help. Let's see. Yeah, see, it says right there about the whole channel thing right there. But yeah, so you can load your file, tempo, volume over the entire song, transposition of the entire song. You run a loop the entire song, which normally you do, unless it's like a credit scene. Playing song while paused, that's just preferencing. And this right here is if you want to make a Mario Kart 64 song. But I'll not be doing that right now. So go ahead and do that. We'll go and load our file. Our file is MK64 Toad's Turnpike. Go and open that up. First thing you do is note down the tempo you had, which was 136. Just remember that tempo note. Yeah. Let's see, wheelie, play sequence off, loop sequence of course. Now here you have all the instrument sets in SM64. 0 through 10 are just sound effects, so stuff like Mario's voice, the chain chomp barks, or stuff like that. So you don't really need to make songs in those unless you really just want a meme. But let's see. So then we have other instrument sets. Now for these, well, I generally use 17, 37, or 21, since those have the most instruments to use, or the most, and they sound the best with those, in my opinion. Some people use like 18, 19. Brody uses 19 a lot in Sarvage 8. But yeah, we'll be using 37 for this one. Now here you have your instruments: accordion, bass, clavinet. You can read through all those if you want. But yeah, let's go ahead and start doing that. So first we have two bass lines. So let's do slap bass for those two. Go ahead and you want to know how to mix your volumes to where it sounds decent. So you have to practice volume mixing really. We'll look into this bass. So this bass is the lead bass really. So we'll lower that bass even lower. Keep that bass about right there. Strings. We have our strings track right here. We'll lower that down. Sometimes if the strings are too high, they'll hit the top of the note range. It'll sound really bad. Like it'll sound very out of key. So just make sure it's not too high. If it does, you can use a transpose button right here. And negative 12 will transpose it down an octave, or 12 will go up an octave. Stuff like that. Anyway, so we got that done. Go and lower the strings volume. We don't want it to be too loud. Electric piano, we have that right here. We'll go and lower that. The echo one's going to be very quiet too. We don't want it to sound that much. We're going to increase the volume the entire song. We have the lead strings here, so we'll do strings right there. Piano, the grand piano. This is actually the lead string, so this is the main melody right here, along with the piano. So we'll keep those louder. Cymbal. Now this is where it gets kind of confusing for the percussion. What you want to do is, for the hi-hats, you want to use crash cymbal. This will make it sound. So you crash cymbal for that one. Lower the volume down a lot because cymbals get really loud in SM64 and it'll start overpowering the actual melody. You don't want that to happen. So again, there's strings here. Go and quiet that down to there. You have a crash cymbal, which is the actual crash cymbal, which you'll use clash cymbal for this. So you got that there. And this can actually be pretty loud because it's pretty quiet in general. Then you have your final drum track right here, which is the snare and bass. So just do general percussion for those. So let's do that. Lower it down to maybe right here. This will be fine right here. Okay. If you think you're all satisfied with all that, that needs to be 0 by the way. If you think you're all satisfied with that, it's good. Panning will of course pan which sounds to left and right. You can make more stereo sounding music with that. But for now we're not gonna mess with it. You can pan, transpose. I don't really mess with pitch, reverb, or vibrato. Those just, I don't know what they do, really. without messing that. One of them makes it sound really weird, so I don't mess with it. But yeah, once you think you're done, go ahead and save your settings file. This is so you can edit it easily later instead of having to go through all of that again. So go ahead and save your settings, then create your M64 file. There you go, it's all done. Now I want to open our RUM in SM64. For this, I have to go back to Level Importer actually, because I don't have a RUM made in 2.0.4. But yeah, so let's see, we'll go to this. I don't have the actual RUM yet, but go ahead and load the file we just made. Oh, whoops, I'm dumb. Anyways, so find the song you want to replace. We're going to replace this song right here. No, not this. This song right here. This song is replaced over the first level. But yeah, you'll want to look through this to find a song you want to replace. This right here is, I think this one right here is the file select theme. This is where you usually want to test your songs on. So yeah, you're going to do that. So you're going to do that. We were going to replace over this one. Load your file. You can find your file in the converted music directory of the editor you were on. So go and open that up. Toast Turnpike, and ours is 10 kilobytes, which is actually very good. It's going to work with anything we replace it over. So go ahead and save that. Alright, it's in the game, so it's all good. The instrument set's correct. This will usually change if you're not careful. Like, you can like import another song and this will change it to like 17 or something. So just make sure that's good. So go ahead and save that. I'm going to go to our RUM. Let's test it out, how it sounds. Dang. Right here. So yeah, as you heard there, the notes kind of hit the top of the range. So what you want to do is go back to the settings file you made. So go back there, create sequence, load your settings again. Okay, 64, Toast Turnpike. Go and load all that up again. Now you want to find out which was the instrument track that sounded like that, which in this case was the strings lead right here. What you want to do is negative transpose it down, negative 12, which transpose it down an octave, so that way it's not as high sounding. Which is what I mentioned earlier, but I didn't really go into it. I'm kind of glad that actually happened though, so now I can actually mention it. So go ahead and create that. That's just in case it sounds like it's hitting the top of the range, because a lot of instruments do that, especially the pan flute or the regular piano or even the bass. They all get, once they get really high, they just sound really bad, out of tune. So let's go and do that. Go back to re-import your song. Whoops. Go ahead and re-import that right there. Alright, save changes again. Now we can test it out again. There you go. Actually, here now it sounds on tune and not bad. You kind of heard that one in the background, right? It sounded kind of out of tune. That was this one right here. So we're going to lower that one too. Make it 12. Yeah, strings are very iffy in the Mario 64. It can sound really good or it can sound really bad, especially with the note limits. So go on K64, import that into the thing again. We'll test it one more time. I believe after this it'll sound as it should. There you go. It sounds good there. There you go. Alright, sounds good. Works in Cymbal 64. And that sound, make sure also, sorry, one last thing, you don't want to make sure it sounds too loud. So like in this case it's not as loud, but you don't want to overpower Mario's sound effects. So yeah, so you can kind of tell. This one's actually a little loud, but you can just easily change that by lowering the master volume, which is at the top of SM64 or the music converter. But yeah, this sounds decent. Alright, so once you've got all that, once you think your M64 sounds good, you're done. You just gotta import it into your ROM, test out the thing, make sure it sounds fun. Alright, I think that we'll go ahead and end this tutorial for now. Thanks for watching. Next time I do a tutorial, I'll go over the special music function you can do in hexadecimal, which allow you to do stuff like tempo changes in the song, loops. You can do like a loop of a song that has an intro, something like Dusty Garden Galaxy or something. But yeah, alright, thanks for watching, and I'll go over something next time. Alright, thanks, bye.